Welcome back. It is 9:35 on News and Views right here on Salam Media. And next, we are going to be talking with Richard Senkondo, Executive Director of the Organization for Community Engagement in Tanzania. He is in South Africa at the moment, and he was a leading member at the march yesterday, the march in Sandton, a mass protest in Sandton as community-based organizations, NGOs, trade unions, and social and environmental justice groups marched against the African Energy Chamber and African Energy Week. A very good morning to you, Richard. Welcome to the program. And hats off to you and everybody that were part of the mass protest yesterday in Sandton.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning. I am Richard Senkondo, the Executive Director of Organization for Community Engagement in Tanzania. And I was very happy yesterday to participate in the march against the African Energy Chamber toward the African Energy Week that is set to happen in November.
So, you being part of that protest march denounced the AEC's promotion of fossil fuel exploitation across Africa, and you're going to give us details on that. Obviously, it's devastating the infrastructure socially, environmentally, and the economic impact in that part of Africa. Tell us more about the situation. What sort of evidence do you have to back up your very strong stance on this matter?
Yeah, part of the evidence which I have, I will speak more, particularly on the context of Tanzania, where we understand that the African Energy Chamber is perpetuating and helping multinational corporations such as Total Energies to construct the East African crude oil pipeline. So, amongst our key areas of concerning is about the proliferation of fossil fuels that leave devastating impacts not only to the environment but to the communities. We have experienced and the manifestation of human rights violations, particularly when fossil fuels companies implement their projects, particularly such as the grabbing of rent, unfair and untimely compensations of properties that have been lost at the results of constructions of these mega fossil fuels project. But also there have been a denial of freedom of expressions for the project affected persons whenever they seek the airspace of expressing their grievances and their level of unsatisfactions from those projects. We have seen how these multinational corporations work together with the host government. And under this case, I will speak more about Tanzania, how they work closely with the government of Tanzania. They bribe the host government and how repressive at the end the host government turn to their citizens. They normally not listen to their citizens, and only what they want is just to impress these multinational corporations. And what actually we are fighting for is to change the wrong narratives where the host government, the African governments, with their leaders in collaborations with multinational corporations, what have been lying to Africans that proliferations of fossil fuels will alleviate poverty in Africa, but that one is typically not true. We have witnessed the endless of conflicts, internal conflicts, whereby you find prominent internal conflicts in African countries, which actually give way a peaceful environment for multinational corporations to plunder and loot the resources. But it is evident that the extractive resources, particularly fossil fuels, they are not benefiting the grassroots communities, but rather they have been benefiting the elites the small size of elites, particularly politicians, business tycoons, are normally who enrich themselves and their families on the expenses of majority Africans. So, and the most of the income that is gained normally ends us into paying a debt. So we
So
are seeing that, yes.
carry on, carry on.
Yeah. Typically, I could say that the continuation of investing into fossil fuels is granting a green light of setting African into a debt trap.
Okay, so these multinationals that you talk about, they have a very shady history of promises being made to the local people and never being met. And if anything, the locals are actually worse off once these multinationals come into their villages and their areas and displace them. Because they come along with free market economies, deregulation, privatization, which are designed to entrench debt, underdevelopment, and exploitation, whilst accelerating climate collapse and environmental degradation across the African continent. And we've seen it over and over and over again. And I'm sure that's a very, very strong point that you're pushing as well regarding Stop African Energy Week. Richard? Richard, did you get my statement there? Did you hear me?
No, I didn't
Okay,
hear you, please.
you didn't hear me. I brought up the issue about these multinationals, which over time have made huge promises to the locals in rural areas and villages. Are you still there, Richard?
Yes, I'm still here, but I think my network is a bit weak, so I'll need to switch off the camera, please.
Okay, please switch it off so that I can pose my question to you.
Okay,
Okay,
let's continue.
so okay, great. Richard is off camera. Hopefully, he can hear me now. I will repeat my question regarding the multinationals that come into African areas, into Africa, and then they go to the rural villages and areas, and they make huge promises. They displace the people, and with their, of course, free market economies, deregulation, privatization, which all are designed to benefit them, but as far as the locals are concerned, entrench them in debt, underdevelopment, and exploitation. And this also accelerates climate collapse and, as we've seen it time and time again, environmental degradation across the continent of Africa. Your thoughts, Richard?
Yeah, this has been, thank you very much. This has been the rule of the game of these multinational corporations since the post-independence era, because what they actually want to see is the continuous dependence legacy of African continent to the developed world, to the northern bloc. So actually, normally, what they want is to deregulate, whereby you might find that they want to operate in an environment with the tax evictions. For example, I could cite an example in my country. Most of multinational corporations, they could be evicted not from paying tax even for 15 good years. And you might find only maybe the project has a lifespan of 25 years only. So they might end up paying tax only for 10 years. So this is actually not the development that we want. So typically, if someone dodge from paying taxes, it means that there is no economic viability on that. You cannot tell people that you are going to gain huge profits where someone dodges from paying taxes. But also we have witnessed this that in extractive sectors, not only in fossil fuels, but it also from mines, I can say that they normally end up leaving us in empty halls. with poor services, no water supply services, poor health services, and so forth. So what actually we are crying for is just to change this narrative of deregulating, and also this one, the idea of free market systems, because these ones, they have been the pro Western ideas of continuing to colonize Africa. So we are saying that this is an era of neo-colonialism, and particularly energy imperialism in Africa. There is no true development in fossil fuels proliferations.
Okay, we need to go for an ad break. Please don't go away. I have two more important questions to put to you before we wrap up.
With Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
The people of Palestine need your support now. Africa Muslims Agency is on the ground, already providing food, medication, and emergency supplies in Gaza. Donate any amount to Heal Palestine at africamuslimsagency.co.za. Africa Muslims Agency, empowering, educating, inspiring.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness. And every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and free zakat calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031-208-9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042-203-1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Albeit Lodge, your true home away from home. Albeit is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists with its 4-star family rooms and other luxurious facilities. Conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach, and other amenities, your stay will be truly unforgettable, as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Albeit has to offer. For reservations, call 041-583-6415 or visit www.albeitlodge.co.za.
Searching for elite local and international investment and advisory services from an award-winning firm? Look no further than the Belmont Mayer Group, your gateway to unparalleled investment and wealth management. At Belmont Mayer, we believe in the art of wealth creation, a meticulous process fueled by our unwavering commitment to excellence. With a focus on providing elite alternative investments and quality advice, we also pride ourselves on maximizing value for our esteemed investors, as seen through our consistent outperformance. Your financial success is our top priority. Join us at Belmont Mayer and experience the difference firsthand. Ready to embark on a journey of greatness? Contact us today. Reach out to the Belmont Mayer Group on 078 786 1698. Call or WhatsApp or email us at info@belmontmayor.com. Elevate your financial future with Belmont Mayor, where every detail matters.
Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
The time is exactly 9:50. We are still speaking with Richard Senkondo. He's from Tanzania. He's here in Johannesburg as part of the march to stop African Energy Week. He will be talking with us for at least the next 5 minutes. Richard, welcome back. I want to ask about what happened yesterday en route to the African Energy Chamber. You and the group of demonstrators stopped briefly at the ultra-Zionist Ichikovitz Family Foundation, where a speaker from South African Jews for a Free Palestine led the group in denouncing Ivor Ichikovitz and the Paramount Group's supply of warships and a whole host of other issues nefarious activities that they were involved in. What was the response like, and what exactly happened there when you guys stopped there to obviously express your sentiments to this very nefarious character?
Yeah, thank you very much. So the activists actually had their demands to table to the Ichoist family foundations, and its allegations on exporting weapons to Mozambique. So our clear demands was typically to stop that, and not to finance the internal conflict, so that they can just stop the plundering of African resources in Mozambique.
And just to add to that, we do know that the Paramount Group, which is obviously Ivor Ichikovitz's group, they supply warships to protect big oil in the Niger Delta, as well as its Burnham Global, a private military company's role in the extraction of blood methane from Cabo Delgado in Mozambique, where Ichikovitz forces and military sales have already contributed to death, destruction, and the climate catastrophe that boomerangs back in the form of extreme, ultra-deadly cyclones.
Yeah, yes, of course, and yeah, and dear presenter, maybe I would not have to speak more about that one, and maybe my focus could be on other fossil fuels project, please.
Okay, no problem at all. Finally, the whole purpose of this mass protest march was to present an open letter which has been endorsed by over 250 African civil society organizations. Tell us about that open letter. Whom was it presented to, and the 4 very key points that the open letter contained?
Yeah, so the open letter was presented to the African Energy Chamber, and the clear demands that actually CSOs from Africa, climate justice activists wanted was the immediate cancellation of the African Energy Week, but also we wanted the African government to boycott the African Energy Week and cut ties with its host, the African Energy Chamber. But the other demand was the African leaders must reject fossil fuels expansion in the continent, and they aggressively pursue a just, people-centered transitions to renewable energy. And the last...
Yes. Are you still with us, Richard? Okay, we seem to have lost him, but I will share the last demand in this open letter by this mass protest march in Sandton yesterday. And of course, that last point, which is a very important point as well, is that multinational corporations must pay reparations for the immense environmental and social destruction caused by fossil fuel extraction and exploitation across the continent of Africa. But we do know it is more far reaching than that. It has repercussions all around the world with regard to global warming. So that's where we leave that interview. Thank you indeed, Richard. If you can hear me, I don't think you can, but thank you indeed for being part of this Stop African Energy Week, End Fossil Fuel Corruption. And we do hope that the call has not fallen on deaf ears. It is 9:56 a.m., almost time for us to wrap up, but not until we have listened to our Fired Up series with Hafiz Imran Chunara. He's a personal excellence mentor and CEO of Africa Muslims Agency. And the topic for today is a man who can control himself is truly free. And that's coming up, of course, in the Fired Up series. Let's take a listen to that.